Welcome to our practice. Beginning of winter here in Southwest Michigan. Some snow today, and thought we would concentrate on getting our hamstrings and our hip flexors to open and do some beautiful standing poses. So welcome. Find your grounding, sit bones into the earth, crown of the head lifting up towards the heavens. Feeling the weight of your legs releasing towards the earth. Feeling the softening in your hips. Maybe feeling the rise through the crown of the head. We have landed, placed on the earth to root, at the same time to find our rise. Feel the slightly tilted forward anterior position of that pelvis. Creates the arch in the low back, right? Trying to set our spinal curves into action. Bring awareness to the bottom of the rib cage, binding in those low ribs. Containing this segment because it's so mobile. So when we bring our chest tall, what opens is your upper back. Feel the shoulder blades as they release down the back. And take your hands back behind you. Big wingspan. Start to feel the nerves as they floss and get released through the connective tissues. Turn your thumbs backwards towards the floor. The palms will come up. And then reverse it from the ball and the socket in the shoulder. Take the hands and roll them back. So not bringing the chest forward, but right from the shoulders. There we go. Take the thumbs back again and take them behind you. Let the elbows release now towards the hips. The palms are up. You can turn them down for more of a grounding feeling, your choice. Feel how the head now has slid back into its place, the bobble-headed place, unweighted. The musculature softening, and again, the dance of those spinal curves. If you close your eyes, your visuals are blocked out and distractions are cut down, and takes you within. Inside your body, millions of interoceptors, sensory satellites blinking throughout the periphery, feeding back information to your brain about what's going on in your body. Take a moment here. Listen up. What's being relayed back? We're not necessarily looking to change anything, more just observational. Where are we beginning? How about your mind? What's going on in the mind today? This is a time to allow all those crazy thoughts, all that's ruminating in our brains, to take a break for a moment and maybe a chance to allow it to settle and prioritize and find our perspective. I'll ask you in a moment to start your breath. I suggest you inhale your conscious breath, that is. I suggest you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth through pursed lips. If that doesn't feel natural for you, by all means, assume what does. Just know that inhaling through the nose warms, hydrates, and purifies the air. I say it every time. See if it will sink in today. What does that mean? Taking in this conscious breath in its purest form and delivering it down to our cells in the best possible way. Blowing out through the pursed lips, we hear and feel the exhaust as it leaves the body. See if maybe you can allow your breath to become twice as long on the exhale as on the inhale. It's a potent trigger for allowing the system to start to release and find its balance. Let's sit for a minute and envision today all of us practicing around the world, practicing apart, but still together. I know in my own mind, I see several faces right now that I know are out there, and It's a connection. It's a way to keep us together during these crazy times. So let's sit for a minute and see if we can join our breath. Before you open your eyes, take your thumbs and cross them like bird wings right over your heart. And the center of the chest, the heart chakra. Feel your heart beating inside your chest. Maybe the warmth on the outside in your palms. Stop for a moment here and feel your humanness. Blink the eyes open, look at the front of your mat. Bring the gaze back up. Let your hands float up, those helium hands, up to the sky. See, as your fingertips reach towards the roof, your sit bones go deeper down into the basement. Your fingertips go to the sky, and the sit bones go deep down into the earth. Deeper and more connected, longer and farther reach. Pull the low ribs in. Look up at your hands. Take your thumbs back behind you from the opening of your upper back. We get rid of some of the excessive roundedness of that upper back. Fit your head back between the elbows, touch your palms together. Change your hands to steeple hands, interlaced fingers, index to the sky. Squeeze the elbows by the ears. See if you can feel the side body start to lengthen. Maybe the space between the top of the pelvis and the bottom of the rib cage, your waistline lengthening. Side to side now, starting to get the ribs to activate, the muscles between the ribs to start to release. Bring it back to rest, press your palms together. Inhale, and on your exhale, slowly lower them down. Main central, stopping at third eye. Tip of the nose, lips, throat, onto your big heart. Touch your thumbs to your heart and raise the heart. Feel the shoulder blades release down the back and the freedom of the head. Inhale. Exhale, spin the hands to the earth and touch down. Let's release the neck. Right hand holds the floor, left ear softens into left shoulder. Seeing if you can find that softening, what's holding, what might be not moving from the segment in your spine, right? So figure out where the resistance is and see if you might be able to feed into that. Nice. Inhale your head back up, and on the exhale, left hand will hold the floor and the right ear softens in towards the right shoulder. Maybe the same resistance on this side, maybe completely different story. Inhale the head back up, and on the exhale, left hand turn, ride your wave. Chin goes up and down, a little bit of movement as the head looks around or the gaze around towards the left. Come to your stop point, and then maybe you can take it a little bit farther around. Inhale back through center, and on the exhale, take it around to the right. Do your little bit of wave riding. Come to the end of the range and take it a little bit farther. Inhale back through center, exhale around to the left, a little cleaner through there. Inhale and exhale, reach the chin out towards or to the left shoulder point. Accentuates the stretch on the right side of the neck. Let's take the right hand now and turn it backwards so the thumb leads to the back of the mat. As the palm opens up, we get a little nerve floss. Turn the hand back, bring the chin back through the center on the inhale and on the exhale around to the right. Inhale, exhale, take the chin out towards or to the right shoulder point. And left hand will spin back now. Hand releases. Bring the chin back to center on the inhale, and on the exhale, release it down to jugular notch between the two collarbones. Try to have it all happen from the neck. Don't round out the upper back. Let's trace the chin on the collarbone now. Inhale, and on the exhale, chin traces right collarbone. Keep the chin in contact with the bone, and if it starts to leave, that's where you stop. Otherwise, take it around, explore the end of the range. Inhale back through center, exhale around to the left. Inhale back through center, and on the exhale, reaffirm, press the sit bones and hands, pull the low ribs in, bring the heart up. Lift the crown of the head towards the sky. Inhale again, on the exhale, imaginary hand behind your heart. Go ahead and push the heart forward. Feel the center behind the shoulder blades start to extend or back bend, and then start to let the head back. Explore a new spot maybe that you can hinge back from. And release the head back, provided there's no dizziness or pain in your spine. Inhale the head back up, center, and exhale. Take your L hands to the tops of your thighs. Push down onto the thighs and start to come forward. And even if you're not sitting in half lotus, it still works. Virasana, any of that, start to come forward. Feel the sit bones as they leave the earth. Imagine that pelvis rolling on top of those fixed thigh bones. Pull the low ribs in, tuck the chin. Take the hands and reach back like Superman, right? Fly back, palms are up, reach way back. And as you reach back, bring the crown of the head further forward. And then take your elbows to your side, your palms are up. Inhale, and on the exhale, spin them down to the earth. We root in with our arms. Index fingers forward, thumbs towards each other. Imagine a marble, roll it from the index towards the thumb. We hold down the unstable side of the hand. Keep the wrists where they are, but roll the elbow creases towards the sky without the hands coming up. Dock down onto the ground or onto a prop. Press the hands and elbows into the earth and start to bring the crown of the head to the very top of your mat. Sit bones are off the earth and our spine is elongating. We're creating some space. All day long, gravity pushing down on us. Let's find this. Unwind. Nice, yogis. Walk your hands back up. Tall sit position. And if you're in half lotus, switch your legs opposite side. Arms fly up for our cactus arms. Open and close your hands. Feel the energy moving through the hands. Big wide open palms. Take the thumbs, turn them back. Drop the thumbs back from the rotation in the ball and the socket in your shoulders. Inhale forward, exhale down. Try to make it all in the shoulder, right? The ball moving in the socket. So not rounding the chest forward, but just spinning the ball in the socket. Do it again, thumbs back, external rotation, and forward, internal rotation. Back up they go on the inhale, and on the exhale they come forward for fly machine arms. Turn the hands to face you, your palms, inhale. On the exhale, push the sides of the hands and elbows together, and we rise up. Contain those elbows together. If they start to come apart, maybe pause. Otherwise, see if you can continue to take them up. Take them apart now. Index and middle touch, widespread fingers. Inhale, exhale. Down they go through that thick fluid. 3 times. Back up you go. Marry the breath with the movement. Inhaling and exhaling. Last one. Reset that whole upper quadrant. Shoulder girdle. And elbows into side pockets. Beautiful. Turn your light bulbs. Feel the freedom. Pronation, supination of the forearms, getting all the joints to warm up, sending the message to all the different spots. Up they go. Hallelujah arms. Queen wave. Low light bulbs. And go ahead and shake them out. Give them a good shake. Go ahead and bring the arms up. Take your shoulders up by your ears. That's upper trapezius. Those are very overused. Drop them. So no upper traps, nothing here. It's all here. Deltoids and rotator cuff. Feel the stability there from the hold. Grab your imaginary tennis balls. Flap your wings. Great way to move the energy through our arms. The blood flow, the synovial fluids, our lubricating fluids. Take flight, pterodactyls. Find those beautiful free arms. And let's move this today into a little bit of a twist. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind, big open heart. Inhale. On the exhale, keep the gaze forward and start to just twist from the rib cage. Not the hands so much yet, just rib cage. Then look over the left shoulder. We've done that. And then use your hands to help to twist a bit more. Inhale it all back to center. Low arms, just take them the other way. Left hand, right knee, right hand behind. Big open heart. Inhale. Exhale, twist the ribs. Start to turn your gaze. And then use the hands to help to encourage a bit more movement. Inhale them back to center. This time the arms come up a little bit higher, right? And maybe they'll land back a little bit farther. Same thing. Inhale. Exhale, start the twist.
Hey, Ryan?
Turn the gaze.
Who was that?
And then use your hands to inspire a bit more. Inhale it back to center. Low hovering arms, take them around, see where they land. Twist the cage. Turn the gaze, use the hands. Encourage a bit more twist. Let's come up with the arms now. Up they go, way up and around, and see where they'll land. Twist the cage, turn the gaze, use the hands. Up they go and around, see where they land. Bring it back to center. Take your hands on the tops of your thighs, make your way down on your own now. Feel what it feels like to articulate through all the joints. Find the curves in the spine, the stability. Do what you like with your arms. Maybe take them back, Superman, Superwoman again, and fly them out. In this round, let your head release towards the ground and get a big stretch, full flexion of the spine. Inhale back up, and exhale, walk them back up. Let's do our side bend. So you can have a block to the right end of the left, or do the right side first. The block will be for your elbow if your elbow won't quite touch the ground. Walk your hand out. It's a down dog hand, very stable. Left hand, push down onto the thigh. Let's keep our concentration on the left thigh down, right? As we start to release the elbow. So if the elbow doesn't feel like it's going to go close to the ground, keeping that left sit bone down, that's what your block is for. Slide it under. Dock into something, please. Hold that thigh down and lengthen out. Take the thumb into the armpit and lengthen out again. Spin your heart towards the sky and look up. Inhale the left hand up, and on the exhale, take it across. Find that big side body opening. Right hand real stable, right? We're not collapsing in, we're holding that stability. Spin your heart to the sky and look up. Inhale back up, and on the exhale, switch side. Either bring your block or use your other one. And make your way down into your side bend. Concentration again, sit bone stays down. Left elbow bends in slowly towards the ground or to a prop. Dock in. See if you can lengthen out. Thumb into armpit, same thing, lengthen out. Roll the heart to the sky, look up. Inhale the arm up, and on the exhale, take it across. Reach out, reach out, reach out. And add the rotation again, look up into the armpit. Inhale back up, tall sit position. All right. Move your blankets, come onto all fours, and we'll do our calf extension. Sorry here. Okay. Right foot goes back behind you. Curl the toes under, push your heel back all the way back. I love that feeling after sitting like that, that opening in the back of our leg. We're going to get into our hamstrings big time today and our calves so we can hopefully come into a nice forward fold. So pause here for a moment, push the back of the knee towards the sky and start to get those tissues to release. Inhale the body weight forward onto the tips of the toes, round over onto the top of the foot. Find the opposite movement now, that plantar flexion of the ankle. Roll back through it, feel each one of those toes, the phalanges of the toes moving. Other side, take righty forward, take lefty back, push the heel back, all the way back. Crown of the head forward, back of the knee to the sky, pause here. Inhale the body weight forward, tips of the toes, round over onto the top of the foot. Find that movement, toes and your ankle and the bones in your feet, all of it. Yeah, go ahead and push back all the way back. Take the left knee forward and apart. Let's start to open our spine now. Curl the toes under. We'll make our way back slowly. First round, inhale, exhale, just a bit of the way back. Arch the back, spread the sit bones, start to feel the opening, right? The hamstrings here, as they attach onto the sit bones, start to get a little stretch. Bring the body weight forward now. Release the feet and just the pelvis releases. So we're not coming through with the chest yet. Just release the pelvis to the ground or towards the mat to stretch the front of the pelvis out. Good. Curl the toes under on the inhale and on the exhale, push back. A little bit more this time. So it's down dog arms, right? We start to open our upper back now, releasing our heart towards our thighs. Inhale the body weight forward, release the feet, let the pelvis come forward and then bring it up through the bottom of the rib cage into the heart. And we're forward. A big stretch of our abdominal wall and the start of the hip flexor stretching. Curl the toes under on the inhale and on the exhale, push back, still toes curled under. Down dog arms can dissolve into sphinx arms, the elbows release down and then the forehead down. Inhale up through scared cat, release the feet. The opposite movement of that spine now, hang your cobra from the top. We find the release. Inhale. On the exhale, look over your right shoulder, see your heel back behind you. Inhale forward. Exhale, look over your left shoulder, see your heel behind you. Inhale forward. Exhale, look up. Inhale forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, put your pelvis down. Not the belly button, but the pelvis and the elbows stay in nice and tight. Get a big stretch between the shoulder blades. Inhale up, scared cat. Exhale, wide child. Knees will go wide, big toes will touch. Look at your hands. They're down dog hands, into sphinx arms, and into the forehead onto the earth. If this isn't too pinchy for your hips, shift your pelvis to the right and to the left and lubricate those hip sockets. Get rid of some of the gumminess and the stuck feeling in the hips. Bring the pelvis back to neutral. Inhale up, scared cat. Exhale, unfurl your cobra. Inhale, and on your exhale, bend your elbows again. Keep them in nice and tight. Put your pelvis down on the earth. Inhale back up. Right into cat-cow you go. tailbone up, sacrum drops. Through the lumbar spine, thoracic spine, cervical spine, look up. Hold the gaze up, inhale, and on the exhale, curl the pelvis under, start to bring the spinal points to the sky. Last thing to go down, roll the head again. Yep, look between the knees. Inhale. Exhale, keep the gaze between the knees, start the tailbone up again. Work your way through each one of those segments, trying to feel where the stiff, hypomobile spots might be. We've all got them. See if you can lubricate one of those 24 movable spots in your spine that you've ignored. Take a moment now and dissolve into your rendition of this. Maybe you'll bend elbows, maybe you'll bend your knee, maybe you'll shift pelvis side to side. Take a moment, get lost in it, like you're feeding into what your brain is asking. See if you can find your spots. Take a moment here, beautiful. Bring it back to neutral. Let's go ahead and push back. Buns go back, arms stay up, or head stays up. Walk your hands forward, yeah? See the hands as they walk out. You're starting to release your side body even more. And watch your hands as they walk to the right now. Walk them around to the right. So don't bump the belly up over the thigh. It gets trapped there, and we open up our side bodies. It's left and right side body. Try not to let the right side get all congested. Walk your left hand out a little bit more. Feel that in the side, a little burning. That's the fascia, connective tissue being irrigated. Take the left hand over the right, interdigitate the fingers, and see if you might be able to get your elbows down onto the earth or onto a prop, and let your forehead release maybe to your knee or to the floor. Let's add some rotation. Inhale. On the exhale, roll the left side of the rib cage up towards the sky. Look into the left armpit and find that opening. Release the heart towards the floor. Watch your hands, yogis, as they walk back to center. Please pause at the center position for a moment. The cat claws the carpet, reach out. And then watch your hands as they walk around to the left. Keep walking them around, finding your end range. Walk the right hand forward a bit more. Feel a little more unbridling of the tissue. Interdigitate fingers right over left. Maybe get the elbows down onto the earth again for a moment. Inhale, and on your exhale, look into your right armpit. And find that rotation. Release the heart back down towards the earth. And walk your hands forward. Come sit in Virasana for a moment. You guys know how to customize Virasana. It's wonderful to sit like this for a bit. Especially if your quads are tight, put a little something underneath your buttocks. Let's start to open the fronts of the hips. Hands come back, elbows come in. Inhale, on your exhale, lift your pelvis. Push the top of the pelvis to the sky. So please try not to arch your low back. That's not going to do anything except give you a big belly to the sky. Pull your low ribs in and push the front of the pelvis forward. Go for the stretch of the quads and the hip flexors. Beautiful. Release the pelvis back down. Bend your elbows, lean back a little bit more, have the knees together, and come onto the tops of the feet. Stretch out the shin muscle. Put the shins back down. See if you can lean back a little bit more. Bend the right elbow, look over the right shoulder. Inhale back to center, bend the left elbow, look over the left shoulder. Inhale back to center, push the pelvis to the sky again. Release. Come on to all fours. And let's move into a lunge. Take your left leg forward and right leg back a bit. So where do we start? The ankle is in front of the knee to begin, right? Hands on the pelvis. Inhale. On the exhale, push the top of the right foot into the earth. That's the best cue I got. With that foot pressed, start to bring the left knee forward. What's going to open is here, the front of your hip. Without the press of that back foot, we just end up coming into a back bend. More for the stretch of the front of the hip. See if you can find that stability. Pull up the core, right? Or pull in the core. The egg comes up, the belly pulls in. Take the right arm up. Psoas muscle, spine, the top of the thigh. See if you can reach back with your hand. You're going to end up stretching psoas from origin to insertion from top to bottom. If you've got the stability, go ahead and look up and see if you can find your hand back behind you. And maybe open up a bit more from your upper back, releasing. Inhale, put your hand back onto the pelvis. Come onto the point of the right knee. Keep the core very engaged. Switch your legs opposite side with as little wobbling as possible. Set up again here for success. Foot in front of knee. Inhale, and on your exhale, push the top of the left foot into the earth. Glide forward. Feel the front of that hip open, maybe some clicks and snaps. Belly stays in. We contain this unstable part of the spine. Inhale the left arm up, reach up. Maybe look up and extend back a bit farther with the opening of that upper back. Bring it all back to neutral, left hand onto the hip. Come onto the knee point, switch the legs back again other way with a stable core. Glide right back into where we just were. Inhale the right arm up, take it back. Bring it up to the fingertips or to the sky, and then take it to the left. Open up the side body again. See if you can find the reach and opening through the ribs. Bring it back, hand to pelvis, onto the knee. Switch your legs back again. Left foot presses, right knee glides forward. Left arm comes up and reaches way back. Fingertips to the sky, and then cross over to the right. Balance, right? And side body opening, hip flexor opening. Hand back to the pelvis. Come onto the knee, keep the stability going. Switch the legs back and come back into pose. Let's take our arms to the side. We haven't done this one in a very long time. This is a way of finding your core here. So inhale, and on the exhale, pull the right elbow back, but punch the left hand forward. Can you feel how that kind of engages the musculature? Pull right back, push left forward, and then switch. Push right forward and pull left back. Go back and forth with this, containing it and trying to find the stability in your pelvis. Beautiful. Hands back to the pelvis here. Let's go ahead and drop into this a little bit more. Walk your left foot out to the left side now. And see if you can put your hands down onto the mat with your fingertips or onto some blocks. Remember, yogis, we're trying to keep the alignment in our spine so it's not rounding. We're keeping the curves in the spine. Use your props. Walk the left foot out a little bit more. Go ahead and open and close the left hip now. So you can roll onto the outside of the foot and then onto the big toe side. Find that opening and then maybe walk it out another inch. See if you can release forward now. What does that mean? That you're going to push this pelvis, right side of the pelvis, the butt, forward and try to bring your elbows down onto the ground or maybe onto some props. So maybe you'll notice that one arm doesn't go to the ground as easily as the other. So customize accordingly. Work your screen door, left hip again. Open and close that hip. And then maybe you can readjust and the body has now figured out how we're going to get deeper. Okay, push the top of the right foot into the earth and lengthen out the crown of the head. Maybe you can see this. The spine lengthening, right, towards the top of the mat. Beautiful. Walk your hands back up. Tall position. Left foot stable. Let's rock forward and bend the right knee today and see if you can grab the shin with the left hand as you pull it closer towards your buttock. Big quad stretch. Maybe you can balance yourself and bring yourself up into kneeling quad stretch. Hand comes back down, Foot releases. Come back up. Beautiful work, yogis. Let's switch our legs. Bringing out some of the oldies but goodies. Inhale. Exhale, rock forward. See if you can feel the opening of the hip first, right? You can start to walk the right foot out to the right. Keep the spine in alignment. Take your hands down to the ground, onto some blocks. Stay up on your fingertips. Figure out what's right for you. Take the right foot out to the side a little bit more. It's so amazing for your hip here, creating space. Open and close the screen door. So you can come onto the outside border of the foot and then onto the big toe side. Yep, see if you can find the lubrication in that hip. Beautiful. Maybe walk the foot out another notch. Release your elbows down. Use your props accordingly. Press the hands and elbows into the earth and lengthen out the spine. That's going to give you a lot of length here and a lot of room. Articulate the right hip again. See if you can find that barrier, that end range. Maybe you'll get rid of the prop as the body has accommodated. Press the elbows and hands into the earth. Find that very long spine. Nice, yogis. Walk yourself back up again. Walk the foot back in. Bend the left knee. Grab the shin if possible, or your toes, whatever works. Find that stretch. Maybe you can come up into a balance and take your arm up for left quad stretch. Release the hand. Release the foot. Beautiful. Let's turn on our backs. Go into your crazy legs. Knees together, feet apart. Got a few new additions for crazy legs these days too. Let's start with the basic. Right knee slides down inside of left shin. Inhale and back up to center, and left knee goes down inside right shin. Keep the legs moving, yogis. Feel that beautiful lubrication. So beneficial. This pose seems so simple, but lots going on. Let's take the arms today, thumbs into the elbow creases, and take them up above your head. Just let them rest above your head. Puts another stretch into the lat muscle and some of the muscles on the side body. So keep the legs moving with the arms overhead. It changes the focus or the area that's getting released. Let's go ahead and add the arms in the rotation component now. So they stay in the same thumb and elbow creases, and as your legs go one way, your arms go the opposite. Maybe a few clicks and snaps on the first round or two as we are self-mobilizing. I am asked all the time if it's good that my bones crack like that. Yes, it is under this controlled motion. Add the head now, yogis. Head follows knees, arms opposite way. Inhale to center, exhale to the side. Inhale to center, exhale to side. Add the eyeballs now. Eyes can be open or closed. Eyeballs follow elbows while head follows knees. Eyeballs, elbows, head, knees. Wind and unwind. And bring it all back to center. Take your hands onto your patellar tendons below your kneecaps and draw your knees to your chest. If your back is okay with it, roll your low back off the ground. If it's pinchy or painful, don't do that. Everybody put your sacrum back down on the earth now. Know what happens when our sacrum goes to the earth, the low back finds its arch. Let's decompress. Inhale. Exhale, push your knees up into your hands, but pull your hands down into your knees and push the sacrum even deeper into the ground. One of the best back decompressions I know. Release that. And as you release, you'll see the back will move towards a flattened position, but not completely flat. Let's do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale, pull the hands down, push the knees up. Sacrum imprints to the earth, and our back gets a wash of healing energies and fluids. Nice, yogis. Go ahead
and slowly release that. Let's do our hip flexor psoas release. So grab your blocks, put the block in underneath your sacrum. The benefit of practicing with you guys so much, many of you know these routines, these poses. Sacrum down onto the block, it imprints. So let's really practice that. Imprint your sacrum and see what happens. The low back's going to arch. We're going to do our fancy belt stretching in a while, and I'm going to continue to call out sacral imprinting. So be sure we know it's the idea of creating the anterior tilt to the pelvis and the stability in the back. Straighten your right leg, yogis. Send it down the mat. It's a strong leg to start with Tadasana. Find the strength there. And then let it release and it will roll out to the right side. Do the same thing with your left. The right one stays out there. Left one goes out. Powerful to begin. And then let it release. Readjust your block if it doesn't feel like it's comfortable. It should feel really good that there's this beautiful space in your low back. Let's do a little trigger point release. Find your belly button and take your 4 fingers 2 inches away or either side of the belly button. So the fingers dig into the side. That's where your psoas is. Walk your fingers up very slowly towards the bottom of the rib cage. You'll find the bottom of the cage and dig your fingers in underneath the rib cage, the diaphragm. Your diaphragm has attachments into your psoas too via the fascia. It's all connected, literally. Bring the fingers back through on the rib cage and diaphragm and walk the fingers down through maybe the mushiness of the belly onto the top of the pelvis and then onto the top of the thigh. Inside thigh, that's where your psoas attaches. Take your arms up over your head, yogis. Reach back. We're at a passive back bend. We're in a very open position for our lungs. Let's take a moment or two here. Fill up your lungs. Remember, we don't change the capacity of the lungs. We only change the volume that we introduce in and out. You've got a fixed capacity. See, on the next 2 or 3 breaths, can you fill your lungs to capacity? One at a time, bring your arms back to your side. And one at a time, bend your knees, put your feet back on the floor. Take your hands around the front of the right knee, patellar tendon again, and draw the knee to the chest. Imprint your sacrum and notice what happens when the sacrum imprints. You might not be able to take your knee as far. Just for the heck of it, release that idea of imprinting the sacrum and look what happens. The whole low back rounds out and your knee comes closer to your chest. For many of you, that might not be a problem, but keep doing it and you're going to see you're going to irritate the back. So let's start again. Push the sacrum back down. You'll lose some of the knee flexion, but you'll get a beautiful alignment for your spine. Circle your ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. Trying to give you the rationale for why we're doing this rather than just do this. Good. Bring your foot back to rest and spread your toes. Release the toes and take your hand behind your knee now and draw your knee to your chest. It's the same thing. Yogis, keep the sacrum imprinted. Let's start the opening of our hamstrings. We're going to do lots of work with our strings. Inhale. And on the exhale, hands stay behind the knee. We straighten out the knee so you'll lose some of the hip flexion in order to get your knee to straighten out. Do that a few times. Draw it back in on the inhale. And let it back out on the exhale. Toes to face. Draw it in on the inhale. And let it out on the exhale. Draw it back in on the inhale and hold it there. And then shift the whole right leg over to the right side. A lateral glide. We're clearing the thigh bone off the rib cage. Stand the sole of the right foot onto the sky so you can see the knee is at 90 degrees. If that foot is way too far away to reach, put a strap around the bottom of your foot or simply just hold the back of your thigh and see if you can descend the right knee closer into that armpit. Notice your head not pressing into the earth. It's nice and free. All right, here's the end or the bonus piece of the pose. Push the sacrum down into the block and then straighten out your left leg. This is what we're reaching for. Left leg stays on the earth. See your heels down. If your leg is up, put a block underneath it or simply bend the knee a little bit more. Don't let the leg hover. This is the stretch of the psoas, the iliacus, the two main hip flexors. See if you can take your left arm up over your head. If this seems like it's ridiculous, then lower the block or maybe use a blanket instead. The idea of the block under us gives us this ability to put our hip into extension to stretch those hip flexors. Take your left hand back to your hip. Left foot onto the floor, so beautiful. Right foot onto the floor. Let's match lefty to righty now. Readjust your block, imprint your sacrum. Hands to the top of the knee, draw it in. We know we're not going to take it in as far as you can if you let your back round out. Circle your ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. Spread the toes. Release the toes. Take the hand behind the knee, draw it up to the chest. Let's free up the hamstrings. Inhale, exhale, release. The hands stay behind the knee and we straighten out the leg and pull the toes towards the face. Bend it and take it in. Inhale, exhale, release. One more time, bend it, inhale, take it in. And out, release. Bend it, take it back in again. Glide the thigh bone over to the left so it's cleared over the ribs and stand the sole of the left foot onto the sky. See if you can grab onto the outside border of the foot or customize as need be. Keep the knee close towards the armpit. Sail out that right leg. Oh, yummy. Sacrum imprints. Big stretch. Right side. Drape that right arm up overhead if that's part of your abilities. And then settle into the pose for a breath or two or three. Sole of left foot to the sky. Sole of right foot slides down the mat. Right hand back to the side. Bend the right knee. Put the left foot back down. Readjust the block. Let's find bridge arms. So we'll take our hands to the bottom of the block and interlace your fingers if they reach. And then bring your shoulder blades underneath you. Press your sacrum down into the block. Pull your core in. Shoot the knees straight up to the sky. And then straighten out the knees and the heels will go up, candlestick legs. Let's open the gates. You need a strong core for this. Inhale. Exhale, pull up your egg, tack down your belly, push your sacrum into the block, and slowly let the legs come apart. Maybe some cracks and snaps. Let the legs open and turn the toes out. Now really externally rotate. Push your heels out the corners of the room. Beautiful. Bring them back in again. Close the gates. We'll open up 3 times. Inhale, exhale, let them open. Turn the toes out, push the heels to the corners. Back in they go on the inhale. Last time, exhale, let them out. Turn them out and bring them back in. Inhale, exhale, soles of the feet together, drop the heels down into the groin. Konasana legs. Inhale, and on the exhale, push the soles of the feet together as long as you can, and then turn the soles to the sky. Pull the toes to the face, candlestick legs. 2 more times, drop them down, heels to groin. Press them back up, toes to face. Last one, drop them down. Push them up, toes to face. Right leg goes down, left leg goes down. Bridge up and slide the block out from underneath. Okay, yogis, let's do our long belt stretch. So I hope many of you have gotten your props together now with a long strap. And please, nobody freak out if you don't have a long strap. If you got 2 straps, put them together. And if you only have 1 strap, then that's what you'll use today. So if you've got 1 strap, you won't put it underneath your back. For those of you who have a long strap, go ahead and sling the tail end through the loops. And just be sure that the tail end is coming down towards the ground so you can access that as we tighten up as the hamstrings start to loosen. Okay. Take the loop now. Goes over your shoulders and it ends up very high up into your armpits. Go ahead and lay down on your back. I'm going to do the left side first so you guys can see what I'm doing. So adjust the strap now so that when you straighten out your left leg, there's some tension on the strap. So take your left leg, the sole of the foot obviously, on the ball of the foot, and you can see here I cannot straighten my leg, so I'm going to loosen up the strap a bit so we can get a straight leg. So take a moment here. Let's find our start position. And for those of you who don't have a long strap, simply have the 1 strap in each hand, you got it, so that you'll be able to support the leg. Okay. Strap is way high up under the armpits. Why is that? Because as I press my left foot up into that strap, I get a heart opener. So we get 2 of the things that we're looking for, many of us, a stretch of our hamstring and an opening of that thoracic spine. Okay, yogis. Imprint your sacrum now. Look what happens when you push your sacrum to the earth. Do you feel a little bit more in your hamstring? You should, because what's happening is we're tilting our pelvis and creating a little bit more tension on that hamstring. So this should not be uncomfortable, but should feel like a nice stretch. Beautiful. Take your hands up to the strap now and go ahead and guide that leg up a little bit more. See what's happening here. You can free it up a little bit because it's supported by that strap. Maybe tighten down the strap again, and that's your new start position. Keep your sacrum imprinted and slide your right leg real long. We just did this in our hip flexor stretch, right? So method to the madness, open up our hip flexors a little bit already, right leg more contacted to the earth. Push the left foot up and feel the opening through that thoracic spine. Glorious. Okay, let's mobilize the hip now. So, in order to get a really good hamstring stretch, we want to be sure that the joint is in a really good position. Take your hands up to the strap again, yogis. Imprint your sacrum, and then use the strap to guide the leg to the left and to the right. It's not a lot of movement. Hopefully you're feeling what I'm feeling, a very intricate tug right here as my hamstring attaches onto my sit bone. Do that back and forth a few times. You're mobilizing your hip and stretching that proximal hamstring. Good, bring that back to rest. Let's mobilize it now in rotation. So turn your toes to the left. You can use the strap to help. Right, that's external rotation. Oh my goodness, a yummy stretch. Toes back through center and then turn them in. Sacrum is imprinted. Do that a few times back and forth. Mobilizing the ball in the socket, getting rid of the cobwebs, creating some space. Beautiful, bring it back to center again, and then use a little tug again. Bring it up. Maybe tighten your strap up. One more time, there we go. Strengthen our bellies a bit. Take your hands up onto the strap. Inhale. On your exhale, pull your belly down and lift your nose straight up, right? So we're not flexing, we're lifting the head straight up. If you can continue with this, lift your shoulder blades off the ground, and then look at your knee. Maybe take your hands off the strap. Tremendous belly work. Hands back to the strap. Eccentric, lower down, lengthening the tissues. The head releases back to the earth. Pull the toes to the face, stretch the calf, and pull that strap tight one more time. Lengthen the right leg, take the arms up over the head, reach back. Hands back to the strap, bend the right knee. Oof. You can monkey foot it around or just switch. So what's monkey foot mean? That just means I'm going to put my right foot in to share the strap with the left and then take my left foot out. Readjust the strap, back up into the armpits. Maybe you'll have to open the strap up again a little bit because this other hamstring might be a little tighter to start with, right? Find a comfy place for the strap on the ball of the foot or just towards the arch. Push up with the foot. Feel the heart open here. I love this. Lengthen out the neck. Imprint your sacrum. Then use the strap to find your hamstring length. Why do we need to find such long hamstrings? Because it releases the whole back. When your hamstrings are tight, your pelvis is in a posterior position and the back gets loaded. Yogis, can you feel this as we're just hanging out here and your sacrum is imprinted? Your hamstring starts to soften. Beautiful. Slide the left leg long now. Right leg real long. Push it up into the strap. Maybe adjust the strap, right? Now that we've been hanging out a little bit. Keep the sacrum imprinted. Let's mobilize the hip. Use the strap in your hand to take the leg to the right and to the left. A medial and a lateral glide of the ball in the socket. Carve out some space. Bring it back to neutral. Do your rotations. Use the strap to help to turn the toes in and then out. So the knee's not moving, right? Just the hip is rolling in the socket. We're not torquing our knee or our ankle. In that rotation. One more time, in and out. Back to neutral. Maybe tighten up the strap again. Imprint your sacrum, take your arms up over your head. Reach back. Offer the heart towards the sky. With the sacrum imprinted, we get this beautiful hamstring tug. Release the arms back to the side. Maybe slide the strap back up under the armpits if it's slid down. Let's strengthen our bellies. Inhale, hands are up on the strap. Exhale, lift your nose to the sky, pull the belly down. Lift the shoulder blades maybe, and then look at your knee. Maybe release your hands from the strap. Eccentrically lengthening of the muscle, lower back down to the earth. Use the strap to dorsiflex the ankle, find the calf stretch. Tug the strap down. Arms are at your side, or you can hold it. Do your 3 long breaths to free up the hamstring. Bend your left knee. Bend the right knee. Let's do double legs. See if you can figure this one out. Take your left foot up. don't have it touch the right foot. It's a little uncomfortable. See if you can have them apart a little bit and then straighten them both out. They might slide together, and as long as they're not uncomfortable, it's okay to have the toes touch. And this is Viparita Kirani, legs up the wall without the wall. Press the feet up. Feel how the strap opens that upper thoracic spine. You're not working. Don't stretch your hamstrings. And the ultimate now, imprint your sacrum. Drop that sacrum down. And oh my goodness, it so unbridles the hips and low back. All right, yogis, take your hands to the strap. Bend your knees, so yummy. And put your feet down. Take the strap off your back. We'll go right into the hamstring stretch now. So unbuckle the strap. Take it around the bottom of your right foot. We're so ready for this. Straighten out the right leg. You guys know this. Sacrum down to the earth. Elbows can be up or down. Look what we've done already, right? That string is feeling like, all right, we're good. Straighten out your left leg. We were just here. Let's add the other hamstrings to this. So we'll get ready to open out to the right. Switch the belt to the right hand. Inhale. And on the exhale, let that right leg open out to the right. Look at the toes of the right foot. They're going to spin towards the top of the mat, and the inside ankle bone goes to the sky. It's external rotation. I like to hold the strap, right hand and left hand, especially if your limb is heavy. Use the strap to guide it up. This is the docking of the cruise ship liner in the small little slip, right? See if you can just finesse that hip into place. Beautiful. Pause in your extreme for a moment. Inhale the right leg back up. Switch the strap to the left hand. We're not rolling yet. This is where we take the leg across the body about 45 degrees. Maybe take your right thumb to the top of the right hip, the bone in the hip crease. Push it down. Look what happens. Your pelvis levels and you get a few more degrees of stretch of that lateral hamstring. Inhale the right leg back, straight leg raise. Let's roll it now, yogis. Bend the left knee. Inhale, and on the exhale, push down into the ground. Bridge up just enough to clear the pelvis and roll over onto your left side. The big toe of the right foot is on the ground. Bend this underneath leg. So take the sole of the foot to the sky. Grab onto the shin if possible. And as you pull the heel towards the buttock, roll your shoulder blades onto the earth. Not at the expense of the right leg coming up. The right leg stays down. Now's the fine tuning, right? Use the strap in the left hand to stretch the right hammy a bit more. Right hand will stretch the left quad a bit more. Oh, yummy. And put your shoulder blades to the earth. Remember our little move here. You can bend your left elbow, push it into the earth, and roll the torso to the right. Luxuriate for 3 breath count in your extreme. If you're holding your underneath leg, release it. Roll back onto your back. Find your straight leg raise here for 3 breath count. After all that work, imprint the sacrum, and every exhale, take the leg a little higher. Feel the softness, right? The fight is over. Our hamstrings are compliant now. Bend your left knee. Take the strap off the right. Lay the strap down next to the left side of the body. Straighten out both legs. Marvel in what we can accomplish with some breath and some thought. And how about we match lefty to righty now? Sole of the foot takes the strap. Boy, we forgot on the other side to towel off the bottom. Let's do it on this side. Bring some warmth. Could use some warmth in this room right now. It's starting to get cold again. Good. Bring the strap back up to rest on the metatarsals. Go ahead and pull it down. Push the leg up. Straighten out the right leg now. Find that very long Tadasana legs, right and left. How free the string might feel. Let's open to the left now. Switch the strap to the left hand. Inhale, on the exhale, watch that left leg as it opens out. Maybe think about the progress that's been made over the months, and some of you, the years we've been doing this together. Your hamstrings are different beasts now. Gotta take it out to the side. Maybe two hands hold the strap if the limb is a bit heavy. Toes of the left foot to the top of your mat and spin it so the inside ankle bone goes to the sky. Give a little bit of a pull. Friendly reminder too, yogis, you can do this at home, right? You could actually do this on your own. And if you feel like you don't remember the sequence, it's on the YouTube channel. Hamstring belt stretch. Maybe set an intention to be a little more vigorous with our practice. Go ahead and bring the leg back up to straight leg raise and switch the strap to the right hand, take it cross down. Left thumb goes into the hip crease, push down, level the pelvis. Facilitates the opening of that biceps femoris lateral hamstring. Bring the leg back to straight leg raise, bend the right knee, inhale, exhale, bridge up and roll over onto the right side. Big toe, left foot down on the earth. Bend the right knee back and take the sole of the foot to the sky, grab onto what's grabbable. And inhale, and on your exhale, make your way onto your back with your shoulder blades. Do your fine tuning. Strap in the right hand will stretch that left hammy. Left hand will stretch right quad. Roll onto your blades. You can use your right elbow to press into the earth and roll. Come to your desirable position. Don't go so deep into it that you can't hold your breath, that you're holding your breath and you can't breathe. Let's find 3 long breaths. If you're holding your underneath leg, release it. Roll back onto your back. Do your 3 long breaths. We're finding the last few degrees of your stretch for your strings. Bend the knee, take the strap off. Take the legs out straight for a moment and take your arms up over your head. Feel what we've done to our bodies and our minds. I can't imagine anybody's got a feeling of worry right now. What a beautiful thing to let all that go. Bring your arms back to your side, roll onto your right side. And as promised, let's stand. Find Tadasana first, yogis. We all know Tadasana. So find your rendition of Tadasana, because all of our bodies are slightly different. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Lift and fan your toes, put them down. Big toe knuckle, 5th toe knuckle, heel like a tripod of your foot into the earth. Cuboid bone, the bone on the side of your foot, push that down. As that pushes down, the arches, the medial arches that tend to collapse are inspired. Tighten up your quadriceps a bit. Take your hands onto your thighs and push the thighs back. As we push the thighs back,
the low back arches. We want that. Take the sit bone or the tailbone now, and rather than tucking it, descend it straight down. So as you push that tailbone straight down, all the low belly muscles, the stabilizers, pull in. Squeeze the glutes maybe 20% of your power, not so much that the hips externally rotate or turn out. Take your hands back behind you for your presentation arms. Release the little fingers now to the side. And from the elbows down, turn the palms in. Slide the middle fingers down towards the outside ankle bones. And as all that descends, that Apanavayu energy, lift Uddanavayu to the sky. Close your eyes for a moment. How lucky we are to have our practice, our community, to take such good care of our bodies, our minds, each other. Take your arms up over your head. I'm bending my knees so you can see my hands. Take right behind left. Press them, squeeze elbows to ears, ribs in, back bend your upper back. Switch the press of the palms, ribs in, back bend. And release the hands to the side. Grab your blocks, yogis. Let's do our forward progression here. We've worked our hammies so hard. Let's take advantage of it. This is the block squeeze, the Pez block squeeze. Put the block in high up into the groin. When we squeeze the block, it sets the muscles. We'll do quarter, half, three-quarter, and full. Back to Tadasana, hands on the pelvis. Inhale. On your exhale, squeeze the block. Notice how the muscles pull in, right? And start to send the block forward like a Pez candy dispenser, and you're going to feel you're going to want to back bend a bit. Use your hands to create some posterior tilt of the pelvis. Keep the elbows in nice and tight, and just the low back, find the extension. Inhale, pull it forward. On the exhale, squeeze the block and push it back behind you now. You'll want a forward bend. Tilt the pelvis forward, anterior tilt. The hips go into flexion, and we find, again, just the low back, it's arch. Look what we've done for our hamstrings. If your hamstrings were tight, your pelvis would pull under like this. Really feel the opening of all that work. Nice, yogis. Inhale up. On the exhale, squeeze it, push it forward, elbows in, come up through the low back, and then into the bottom of the rib cage we start to extend, right? So the chin is still tucked. Inhale forward, exhale, squeeze the block, push it back, anteriorly tilt the pelvis, arch the low back, flex the hips, and come down to 90 degrees. Hamstrings, big tug, right? Inhale back up. Exhale, squeeze the block, push it forward, elbows in, posteriorly tilt the pelvis, come into your back bend from low back, bottom of the rib cage, and now behind your heart. Inhale forward, exhale, squeeze the block, take it back, go back through your chain of events here, come down to 90, and then maybe take the hands now and slide them down the thighs, feel all that hamstring work, try to approximate the rib cage to the thighs. Inhale back up, exhale, squeeze the block, send it forward, posteriorly tilt pelvis, low back arches, elbows stay in, up into behind your heart, and now let your head release back for your full expression of the pose. Inhale back to center, exhale, squeeze the block, tilt forward, find that cascading movement, slowly lowering down, sliding the hands down the thighs, maybe fingertips to the earth or to some blocks. See if you can really allow those hamstrings to lengthen as the crown of the head goes towards the earth. Take your thumbs into your elbow creases here and draw the elbows down. Open up that garment bag, right? See if you can find some freedom. Release the hands back to the earth. Let the crown go.
Bend the knees, put the thumbs into the hip creases, and pull yourself back up. Tall stand position. Let's do our wide straddle. Take your feet real wide. Have the block out in front of you. So feet are in parallel, not toes in and heel out, but in parallel. Take them nice and wide. How are we going to get down there? By the rotation from our hips, right? Take your hands. If you've got pockets in your pants, take your hands into your pockets and find the tops of the thighs. Inhale. On the exhale, internally rotate the thighs. So I'm not pushing my pelvis back. I'm internally rotating the thighs, always in a forward fold. Hamstrings and adductors have been released. Come down to 90 degrees and take your hands onto the block in front of you. How about touching the crown of the head way to the top of the mat now? So as the crown comes forward, push the buns back a bit. Oh my goodness, there's the stretch. Maybe take the feet a little bit wider and go deeper. If you can, release the block down to the next level. Keep the press of the hands so the crown of the head is coming forward. We're not rounding our spines. Maybe you'll get rid of the block and put your hands on the floor. Maybe you'll walk your hands back so your fingertips and toe tips are aligned. Maybe you'll bend your elbows and start to flex in from the hips, not rounding the back again, and trying to come down through the length of your spine and the length of your hamstrings and the rotation of your hips. Let the crown of the head release. Maybe walk your hands back to the back of the mat. Walk them back out again. Long body. Let's make a right hand turn. We do that through rotation in our left hip and rotation through our spine. So don't mess with the pelvis. Don't move the pelvis. Just think of the thigh. Take your left hand up onto the top of the left thigh. Inhale. On the exhale, start to internally rotate that left thigh. And look what happens. The pelvis stays aligned with the back and spine as we start to rotate the rib cage towards the heart. Start to walk the right hand around. Maybe with the left hand released to the ground and continue internally rotating left hip and rolling rib cage. As you walk your hands around, maybe the right hand will go on the outside of the ankle and the left hand might touch the toes. Keep the legs nice and long from those long hamstrings and rotate your heart in towards your thigh. Inhale back through forward. Take it around and do the other side. Take the right hand into the right hip crease and internally rotate. Look what happens when you internally rotate, it starts to turn. Walk the left hand around. Maybe the right hand will release to the earth. You guys know what you're doing here. Internally rotating the right hip and rolling the rib cage towards the left knee. Trying to keep the knee as straight as possible. Maybe start to move the hands around so fingers go to toe and left hand on the ankle and rotate through. Come back through center. Last time, bend the elbows. Oh my goodness, all that work we've done with our hamstrings. So glorious. Come on back up. Jump your feet together, hip distance. See if you can let your heels come down to the earth for a yogic squat. You can have your toes turned out. You can have a blanket underneath your heels if your calves are tight. Take the elbows inside the knees and the thumbs onto the heart. Inhale. On your exhale, push the knees in towards the elbows, but push the elbows out at the same time. It's another opening for your whole low back. Release. Inhale. Exhale. Push the knees in, push the elbows out. Release. If you'd like to do a little forearm balance with me, beautiful. If not, just stay in this. Rock forward, palms to the ground, come up onto the balls of the feet. Bring the body weight forward. Push the elbows into the knees and the knees into the elbows. Pull in the core and then maybe try to take your feet off the ground and find some balance in those very stable shoulders. Feet released to the earth. Let's make our way onto our backs. Take your arms up over your head. Hello, come here. Reach back. Luxuriate for a moment here, yogis. Long, deep breaths in and out. Arms to your side, grab your mat with your fists. Inhale. On your exhale, push your hands to your feet. Your body will slide up the mat an inch or so. Bring your shoulder blades underneath you. Cover your eyes or close your eyes, block out the visuals. See if we can take our tickets into Shavasana. Shavasana is the corpse pose. It's the final pose. Preparing for the inevitable. I've heard it so many different descriptions. It's a reboot, productive rest, lucid sleep. It's the icing on the cake. So take your magic carpet ride on your yoga mat. And for a minute or two today, let yourself go. So much going on right now. Never before have I ever experienced anything like this. We need practice, our yoga practice, so much more than we ever did. Drop in, yogis. Fly out, reboot, and come on back in again in a different state. Hear those words, Loka Samasta, Sukhi no Bhavantu. I say them every week now. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. See if we can take a step back this week, yogis. Keep our sanity, find our breath. Be the calm in the storm. Be the still point in the turning world.
keep our wits about us in these trying times. Find the marble on the back of your skull. Let your head rock slowly side to side. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring your physical bodies around. When you're ready, bend your knees, slide your heels up towards your buttocks, and roll over onto your right side away from your heart. And as we transition into this side-lying position, often thoughts of generosity, of kindness, of altruism, and seva. Selfless service rush through our head. Bring us back to our authenticity, right? To our true selves. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, draw yourself back up to seated place. Find your grounding, your comfort, fingertips to the earth, our energetic finger prongs, grounding us. Maybe exchanging energy from your body down into the earth. Maybe envision yourself sitting this teeny tiny grain of sand on the blue-green planet. So small and so important to the whole. Draw the energy up from the earth to your heart center, thumbs to the heart will rise. We pause here, reminding ourselves to be so grateful for all we have. Inhale. And on your exhale, let your hands come forward, fingertips touch, fingernails touch, hands open like a lotus. Bring the energy in from all of us sitting around this world. Thumbs come back, thumbs to heart. Take your thumbs to your third eye, between the eyebrows, a still contemplation point, an all-seeing eye, and ESP eye, our clarity spot. Let's bow to each other in our like-mindedness. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. Thanks for practice. Tomorrow in the afternoon, Monday, 12:15 to 3:15 California time, I got a 3-hour yoga class called Oasis Offerings. It's on Yoga Works, Yoga Tree's website, and on Red Hawk's website. I'd love to see a few more of you show up if you have some time tomorrow, and if not, it's recorded, so you can take it then too. Have yourself a beautiful rest of the day.